there's certain people that will have a platform, or people look up to other certain people, whether it be barbecue people, whether it be athletes, no matter what. There's always a group looking at what you're doing. And if you're doing that and standing out in your faith, it encourages other people sitting on the fence to do the same. And it creates a snowball effect. And that's all our foundation is about.
And it just creates amongst those folks, maybe you haven't met any of those cooks before. So you've got new camaraderie there. You've got new friendship and fellowship occurring. It's always good. And it's exciting to see that. And so I want to make sure we could just hit on that.
Faithandfires.org. You can go to faithandfires.org. We are a 501c3 foundation. You can make a tax-deductible donation to, and it just goes to buying Bibles for kids, doing Cook's Church, doing cooking camps for kids and adults as well. Just about growing, and encouraging other people to stand out in their faith for Jesus. So
and
it's a great foundation.
Give them that website one more time, Mark.
Faithandfires.org.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark. And don't forget to head on over to Instagram or Facebook. Follow Sweet Swine of Mine so you can check out all the cool things he's up to. And check out his website at ssomd.com. And while you're there, you can sign up for his newsletter and get all the tips and recipes right to your inbox. We're going to go ahead and talk to Todd and start out with our All Things Barbecue Product Spotlight. Their website is www.atbbq.com. All Things Barbecue has all the tools and accessories you need to take your barbecue to the next level. So get fired up and get the supplies to do it all at All Things Barbecue. And Todd, I know you've got a product to share.
That's right. This is one of my favorites, and I know yours too. Every cook has to have a good knife and a good knife selection, but there's just a few that you really need, and one of them is a good boning knife. And so one of my favorite brands is the Victorinox because they're really good steel. They're usually really affordable. They wash up well. They're pretty durable if you're using them in your kitchen or out at a barbecue contest or maybe working an on-premise gig. So the 6-inch semi-stiff curved boning knife, $30.99. Not a bad price for that. So that's the Victorinox 6-inch semi-stiff curved boning knife at All Things Barbecue, $30.99.
And that's typically my favorite boning knife, and I've got several different ones, but I'll tell you that I've got some of those, and when we teach the classes, I've got some that are 15 years old. They're almost to the point where you could call them a shiv.
Yeah, right.
But
those are the best great. when you've sharpened them so much that they kind of look like an ice pick. Those are the best for like trimming those little tiny like pieces off the brisket or silver skin. I like to keep those around because they look like a toothpick.
Yeah, I like my shorty for when I'm boning out a pork butt because you can get in right next to that blade in the circle and just get that thing right through there.
Yeah.
But it's a great spend because that knife's going to last you as long as you take care of it. You're not going to run out of the serviceable life of one of those.
Yeah, and the semi-stiff is nice because there's a little flexibility to it. And I prefer that versus a regular like stiff knife.
And the only other thing I would say about those is the handles on them are made out of a material called Fibrox.
Yeah.
And so it's got a micro finish on it. So if your hand's wet or greasy, you still can grip versus a wood handled knife or some of the slicker metal handled knives like a Global or something. So anyway, that is awesome. So check out the website at atbbq.com. You can get that boning knife that Todd's talking about. And we were talking in the first segment about serving competition-style food in the backyard and whether that is something you should try and do, something you should stay away from. You see it all the time. You see shows like Barbecue Showdown on Netflix. We were just talking about a great show and actually bringing that backyard food forward. So not really there, but any of these Barbecue USA, places where you're getting competition food or you see a competition cook, is that the right thing to do to try and put that in the backyard?
Well, I think you're making a good distinction between competition television food and food that you see on television that you want to replicate. Like most of us kind of came up watching Steven Raichlen and Barbecue University and all the crazy, interesting things that he was doing that you never like would have run across in like maybe your normal life. So I think watching and trying to emulate or getting inspired by food on television is a great thing. Competition food is, I think we've talked about this before, it's very different. It tends to be very rich. It tends to be kind of a one bite thing. And
Yeah, I would say essentially it's over seasoned. So when you look at some of the techniques on the shows where you're truly competing, you're seeing extra seasoning go on. You're seeing injections. You're seeing, magic dust at the end of the cook on the slices and all those different things. It really does create a one bite experience.
well, and yeah, exactly. So I think you're making a great point here about all the different things you're seeing and this element and that element. What you don't understand and what you typically can't see in a short show like that is what's the entire process and where was that meat at temperature wise or color wise, like Mark talked about in the earlier segment. So there's a lot of things going on in that show that may not make sense in the show. So be inspired by it, I think, is the big thing. Is watch these shows. Find cuts of meat that you've not experienced before. Go out and do some research, though. Just don't watch the show and try to be the chop champion of your backyard or something.
Well, and you bring up a good chopped just made me think about this. And a lot of times the equipment that those folks are cooking on, you might have a $10,000 or $12,000 piece of equipment that they're getting to use for this event, and it's being managed to the nines. Sometimes it's hard to replicate some of those things in the backyard because of the type of equipment that you might have.
Sure, and it may not be that it's more expensive or it's better designed or whatever. Sometimes a grill and a grill aren't always the same. Mark talked in the earlier segment about pork steaks and how his favorite pork steak was cooked on a barrel. Well, that's going to be very different than a kettle grill, right? And they're both direct. They both are using the same exact size grate, but they are cooking different. The airflow is different. Where the fire is
distance
at,
to the coals
the
is
distance
different.
to the coals is very different. Sometimes what they're doing on television may be different because their device that they're cooking with is different than yours. They're not, just because it's direct charcoal and wood chunks. One could be a barrel and the other could be a kettle grill. One could be a Smoky Mountain. All of those things are going to perform just a little bit different.
So for me, if I'm thinking about competition food in the backyard, what I'm hearing is you're saying use that as an inspiration as opposed to the end game. And I like that viewpoint on it because essentially, if I try and cook that, let's just use a pork steak for an example. If I'm going to cook one of those and turn it into a judge, and maybe I've injected it and I've seasoned it, and then I've got my sauce and my glaze on it, and then I'm hitting it again with something else, all of that injection, all of that butter and the bath and the things that you do to it, again, that judge is going to take one bite and score me on it. If I just take the idea of creating flavors, getting the color and the caramelization, and getting something that is tender, I don't have to do all of those things to it to get to that point.
Absolutely.
So we want to thank Mark Lambert for being on the show again. Check him out at ssomd.com. You can also follow him on Instagram and Facebook at Sweet Swine of Mine. And thank you all for listening. We're excited to bring you more barbecue. We're going to be grilling and chilling next week right here on Barbecue Radio Network.
We build a grill, Holstein Manufacturing.
You have a better recipe for when you grill. Better ingredients, better cuts of meat, and because you're using a grill from Holstein Manufacturing, well, a better grill. You take grilling seriously, and at Holstein Manufacturing, we make a serious grill. Find your new grill now at HolsteinMFG.com.
We build a grill, Holstein Manufacturing.
Holstein Manufacturing, we build the grill.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone
This is Compass Media Network's presentation
Social Security employees will never
of the
threaten
NFL.
Royce Freeman in the backfield here with Stafford. Here comes the Cowboys blitz. Stafford hangs in the pocket, and he's going to be picked off by guess who? Deron Bland. Pick six.
2nd and 5 from the 9. Takes the snap. Quick throw left side on the screen. The Smith and Jigba takes the snap on the 5 and scoops into the end zone.
Jackson out of the gun. Takes the snap. Looks like a design run. Running right. Hits the pile. Dives in. Touchdown, Lamar Jackson.
Welcome to M&T Bank Stadium, where the Baltimore Ravens host the Seattle Seahawks. Today's coverage of the NFL is sponsored by Charmin, Indeed.com, Granger, Wendy's, and by NFL.com.
You're home for NFL Sunday all season long in Hayes and Great Bend. It's KXNC, Nest City, 104.7 KISS FM.
Now, let's head to M&T Bank Stadium, where Chris Carino and Brian Baldinger kick off today's coverage of the National Football League on Compass Media Networks.
It's a pair of division leaders meeting on an absolutely gorgeous day in Baltimore, Maryland, as the Ravens take on the Seahawks. And we welcome you inside M&T Bank Stadium alongside Brian Baldinger. I'm Chris Carino. John Rothstein is going to join us shortly from our Compass Media Network studios in New York City. The Seahawks at 5-2, coming off a win against Cleveland last week, where they just kind of barely held on but got the win, and coupled with a Niner loss, they're now in first place in the NFC West, getting set to take on a Baltimore Raven team that is 6-2, coming off a close win last week in Arizona. They're in first place in the AFC North. And Brian Baldinger, always great to be with you on a day that's more like a summer day. Temperature in the high 60s, beautiful sunshine. We've got an absolutely perfect grass field out there. I mean, where would you rather be than seeing these two teams both leading their divisions, led by tremendous defenses?
Well, they are. And I started thinking about this game in Seattle last week when they pulled that game out at the end, scored a touchdown in the final minute to win it. And I was thinking, okay, Baltimore's winning. We got two first-place teams. But, you know, as much as you want to talk about Lamar Jackson and Pete Carroll and great coaches, the Ravens have the number one defense in football right now. They've given up the fewest points, just a touch over 15 points a game. They do it at every level. They lead the league in sacks right now. They're led by their middle linebacker, Roquan Smith. I mean, we're going to see two really good defenses going at it today.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, when he's got the ball, is going to go up against a Seattle team that got off to a slow start defensively this year, but since week 4, they have the best defense in football.
Well, and they also play a rookie in Devin Witherspoon, who I'm sure we'll talk a lot about today, but he's a difference maker. They just picked up Leonard Williams from the New York Giants to bolster the interior of this defensive line. They're loading up. They know they're a playoff team. They're going to get measured here today against a very good Raven team led by Lamar Jackson. But I think defensively, they've got an excellent secondary. They're very young, but they're playing well together. Bobby Wagner, back at middle linebacker, leads this team in tackles, playing as well as anybody in the league at that position.
You mentioned the Leonard Williams deal. They made a real commitment there because he's a free agent next year. He hasn't committed to signing a long-term deal. They give up a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick, which is a lot in the NFL to get Leonard Williams. They're hoping, though, that he will solidify a defense that, since week 4, allowing just 12.5 points per game. You look at the Ravens on the other side, though. They've got Lamar Jackson. He's playing like an MVP this season.
And every single game, he has these highlights. And it's not him running right now. It's him throwing the ball. He made a touchdown throw to his favorite target, Mark Andrews, last week. I mean, it's just a highlight play. But him and Todd Monken, the new offense coordinator, I think this thing is really working. Zay Flowers, the young rookie, first-round pick out of Boston College, is stepping up. What we haven't seen in this offense yet is Odell Beckham really taking off. And he's healthy right now. He had a good warm-up. Talked to him on the field before the game. Maybe this is the coming-out party for OBJ. They need him to be really great on the outside.
Lamar Jackson in his career is 17-1 against NFC teams, including 5-0 all-time against the NFC West. We'll see if Lamar Jackson can keep that streak going on a gorgeous Sunday here in Baltimore. The Ravens and the Seahawks coming up. When we come back, John Rothstein will dive deeper into the matchup as we get you set for NFL football. You're listening to Compass Media Networks. This is the NFL.
Tiffany absolutely hated her job.
I was living paycheck to
paycheck on a dead-end job that I did not like.
She's been considering a change with My Computer Career.
I was able to qualify for financial aid.
Just 2 nights a week in a classroom and studying from anywhere online opened up a whole new world to her.
I get job offers all the time. IT is practically recession-proof.
Become an IT pro in just months with 0 experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I highly recommend My Computer Career.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
When you think of your go-to meal, what do you think of? Because honestly, if it's not the Wendy's Biggie Bag, what are you even doing? With your choice of Junior Bacon Cheeseburger or Crispy Chicken Sandwich plus 4-piece nugs, Junior Fries, and a small soft drink for $5, Wendy's Biggie Bag hits every time. If there is one thing you can bet on Biggie. U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of JBC or Crispy Chicken Sandwich with 4-piece nugs, Junior Fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Nissan has a car for every driver who wants more. More action. More fun. More guts. More head turns. More adventure. More electric. At Nissan, more is all we do.
I'm Justin Jefferson with the Minnesota Vikings. Hi, I'm Jamar Chase with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Nobody can stop it.
Why do I choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because I only go all out. Because I can't be stopped. Because my Sleep Number smart bed helps me sleep at the right temperature all night. So we can take our game to the next level. That's why 80% of NFL players choose the Sleep Number smart bed. Sleep next level, perform next level.
And now the new Queen Sleep Number C2 smart bed is only $8.99. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL.
This is the NFL on Compass Media Networks.
All right, everybody ready?
Now, to dive deeper into today's matchup, here's your host, John Rothstein, live in New York City.
John Rothstein here inside the Compass Media Network's New York studios, getting you set for an NFL battle in Baltimore between the 5-2 Seahawks and the 6-2 Ravens. And there are certain players in sports that always seem to transcend a position. There are certain players in sports that always seem to bring people in from the periphery. People who might be casual fans, but people who can identify with one player at a certain position that gets them excited to watch. For me, Lamar Jackson has been that guy under center for Baltimore since he took over the position for the Baltimore Ravens. A threat, obviously, with his feet and also a threat with his arm. And he has been a major reason why Baltimore has gotten off to a 6-2 start of this season. And one thing that really stands out when you split the atom, Jackson has been outstanding throughout his career against teams from the NFC. 17-1 against teams from the NFC as a starter. Now, I mentioned that he is a dual threat under center. So far this season, Lamar Jackson has a very exceptional touchdown to INT ratio of 9-3, but he's also scored 5 rushing touchdowns on the ground in the first 8 games of the year for the Ravens, and he led Baltimore, remember, to a 30-16 win in Seattle in 2019. Now, for everything that I just told you about Lamar Jackson, keep in mind, Seattle has been very good on this side of the country. The Seahawks 16-5 in the Eastern time zone since 2019. Geno Smith, the man under center for Seattle, 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions so far this season, but in the last 2 games, Smith has thrown 3 picks. And again, that's why a big reason for Seattle's success is going to be dependent on the running game. Kenneth Walker III, obviously a guy to put in bold print as you focus on Seattle on that side of the football. But the Baltimore defense, obviously going to be the gas in the engine for the Ravens. The Ravens... John Rothstein here inside the Compass Media Network New York studios, getting you set for a battle between the Seahawks and the Ravens in Baltimore. Joined now by Ravens nose tackle Michael Pierce. Michael, thanks for taking the time. How are you?
No problem, man. I'm doing well. It's a good day. The weather is not hot like last week, so I can't complain.
And Michael, talk to us about the state of Baltimore right now. You're coming off a nice road win over Arizona, 6-2 overall, sitting in first place of the AFC North.
Yeah, man, we're feeling good. there's definitely some things that we'd like to clean up going into this week's game. We're feeling good, man. We put in the work. We're starting to see a lot of our labors bear fruit. So we're good, man. We're happy. We're excited to get to Sunday.
You were all over the field last Sunday personally, and you recorded your first sack of the season. What was that like?
It feels great, man. I've been out there on a lot of third downs. I'm grateful that Coach Weave and Mike McDonald have trusted me to be out there, and it feels good to be on the board. But like I said, man, we got a long way to go, so hopefully I can find my way back there a lot more.
Now, the Ravens offense got the ground game rolling with Gus Edwards. How nice was that to see?
Oh, certainly, man. Anytime you can put those long drives together, especially like the week before, you can put those long drives together. That gives the defense time to breathe and lets us get our energy back up. But anytime you get Gus running for 3 touchdowns, that excites everybody, man. It energizes the O-line to keep them to keep going. It energizes the defense as well. So, Lamar has been awesome as well as our back. So we're just looking forward to keeping that going and keeping them strong, and it energizes us a lot.
John Rothstein here inside the Compass Media Network's New York studios, getting you set for a battle in Baltimore between the Ravens and the Seahawks. Joined now by Baltimore nose tackle Michael Pierce. And Michael, obviously a really good matchup here against the Seahawks as we turn the calendar to November. What stands out as you prepare for Seattle?
They're a physical team, man. They just beat the Browns. They got 2 really, really, really nice backs. I think people start to hear Kenneth Walker's name a lot as the year goes on. He's really, really special. The Charbonnet kid is really good as well. He's a rookie. So those 2 guys are really hard to stop. I think they averaged like 8 and 10 yards a carry last week. They only had like 8 and 5 carries, but they really made those carries count. So coming off a win, beating the Browns, we know we got to stop those guys, as well as everybody knows DK Metcalf and 16. So anytime you have all those weapons, everybody has to be on point. So it's not just one area, like the D-line has to focus on something. So everybody has their challenges, and Tyler Lockett is the name, 16. So, everybody has their challenges, and we're all looking forward to putting it together and coming out there on Sunday and defending the bank.
And what will be some of the keys to stopping their offense?
We just can't let them get rolling. So anytime, those coordinators feel like they're getting in the groove, for especially the front, stopping the run and trying to make them one-dimensional is our first key to win victory always. But especially with those backs who can hit any hole and bounce and different kinds of things, and make sure they don't establish the run game early. That way, our DBs and everybody else can kind of, sit back and make sure they're in coverage and not, safety flying down and trying to stop the run. So we want to keep them out of a rhythm, stop them early, running wise, and then we'll get to the passer after that. But the first things first is establishing a base with stopping the run, and then stop those intermediate to deep balls.
For the Ravens, how big is it to have the next 3 games at home?
Very much so, man. We've had a tough stretch, man. We went to London and we went out to the West Coast, and we had an away game before that. So it's good to be back on Eastern time zone, especially for the next 3 weeks. Everybody's sleep schedule and everything, massage and all the body work and everything can be in sync for at least the next 3 weeks. So November is a big month for us, and there's no better way to start off a late push is starting those games off at home. So,
Michael, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck today against Seattle, and of course throughout the rest of the season.
Awesome, man. Thank you for having me.
That was Ravens nose tackle Michael Pierce. I'm John Rothstein. When we return, we will get you caught up to date on everything that's happening during Week 9 in the National Football League. You're listening to Compass Media Networks. This is the NFL.
So you're ready to propose?
Yes, I am.
You got her parents' approval. You told her friends. And you got the ring.
Well.
Luckily, there's Gage Diamonds with engagement rings in every style, for every budget, with certified natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, and moissanite.
But I'd rather not drain my savings.
Gage lets you buy the ring today and pay over time with no credit-needed financing.
Brilliant.
GageDiamonds.com. We're engagement's middle name.
Visit GageDiamonds.com for restrictions.
With Black Friday savings all month long at the Home Depot, you get all the jingle bells and whistles you could wish for with LG appliances. With America's most reliable line of appliances per independent consumer study, you can take holiday do it, holiday done, and always be ready to handle last-minute holiday guests. Save up to $900 on select laundry sets with Black Friday savings, including top brands like LG at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds? Birds? What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Sunday Morning Football is back for an encore in Frankfurt, Germany. Exclusively on NFL Network. Jonathan Taylor and the Colts. Touchdown! Square off against Mac Jones and the Patriots.
A laser!
Rise, shine, and watch a full day of football. Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network and streaming on NFL Plus.
John Rothstein here in the Compass Media Network's New York studios, getting you set for Baltimore and Seattle. A early start today in the National Football League in Frankfurt. The Chiefs moved to 7-2 with a 21-14 win over the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa only threw for 193 yards and 1 touchdown. Again, Chiefs now 7-2, Dolphins 6-3. Thursday night, Steelers over the Titans 20-16. Let's set the table right now in the early games of the NFL. A battle of 4-4 teams in Atlanta as the Falcons host the Vikings. Meanwhile, the 1-7 Cardinals on the road in Cleveland take on the 4-3 Browns. Rams are in Green Bay to take on the Packers. Elsewhere, the Commanders are at Foxborough to take on the 2-6 Patriots. Bears are in New Orleans to take on the Saints. It's the Bucks in Houston to take on the Texans. Meanwhile, the Colts will visit the Panthers. The 2-6 Giants will be in Las Vegas to take on the 3-5 Raiders. Cowboys and Eagles in a heavyweight matchup with all the trimmings. Dallas 5-2 on the season. Philadelphia 7-1 with a 3-0 mark at home. A good game on Sunday Night Football in Cincinnati as the 5-3 Bills are in Cincinnati to take on the 4-3 Bengals. Josh Allen so far this season, 17 touchdown passes, just 8 interceptions. Meanwhile, Monday Night Football, the Jets, 4-3 on the season, will entertain the 3-4 Chargers. New York looking to win its 4th game in a row. When we return, we will send it back to the field and get you the keys to the game. I'm John Rothstein here in our New York studios. You're listening to the NFL on Compass Media Network.
When is the last time you've changed your furnace filter? A clogged or dirty filter restricts airflow and makes your furnace work harder and costs you more money to run it. Good filters cost less than $20 and they last 60 to 90 days. So change your furnace filter soon. Your wallet will thank you and your home will be cleaner and more efficient. A money-saving tip from Midwest Energy, a customer-owned cooperative, making energy work for you.
Announcing Barton Community College's newest program, Music Accompaniment. Whether you're a seasoned pianist or just starting your musical journey, Music Accompaniment is designed to elevate your talents and understanding of the music industry. Complete a certificate in 1 year or earn your associate degree. Classes can even be tailored to match your future career goals. At Barton, you're not just a student, you're part of a family that is passionate about music. Learn more at playpiano.bartonccc.edu.
Jewelry repair, maintenance, and custom crafting of jewelry pieces is at the forefront of our mission at Diamond Art Jewelry. Hi, I'm the owner, Dustin Rhodes, and I like to correlate jewelry maintenance to vehicle maintenance. When your car is new, an oil change and occasional wash are about all you need. But as your vehicle gets older, it often needs a tune-up and alignment to keep it running smoothly. It's the same for jewelry. A light polish and steam will get newer jewelry back to glowing, but as it gets a little older, it might need a little more care. And that's where we come in. Our bench jeweler has over 30 years of experience and will ensure your prized possession looks and wears like new. At Diamond Art Jewelry, we use the best equipment, skilled local craftsmanship, and quality materials with an average 2-day turnaround on repair work. And just like my 94 F-150, bringing those pieces passed down through generations back to life might be the most satisfying part of our jobs. Trust my staff at Diamond Art Jewelry for your next tune-up or alignment, and let's get that jewelry noticed again. Diamond Art Jewelry, online at diamondkansas.com bondurantcropservices.com or stop by 807 Main Street in beautiful downtown Hayes.
Bondurant Crop Services in Nest City is ready to serve you, specializing in fertilizer, chemical sales, and application, plus seed, wheat treating, and blending. Looking for a great price? Bondurant has the fairest price of fertilizer you're going to find in Nest County. Bondurant Crop Services serves Nest County and the surrounding counties. Most importantly, they deliver their product. Call Toby, 798-3775. Don't forget to call Western Fuel and Supply for your commercial and farm bulk fuel needs and deliveries. Bondurant Crop Services in Nest City, making your life easier.
Precision Valley Golf Center in Hayes is the perfect place to take your friends, family, or that special someone for an evening of fun. They have virtual driving ranges that simulate the top courses in America. They also have a fantastic mini golf course outside along with a driving range. And for the hardcore golf enthusiasts, you'll find a complete pro shop with all the top brand names in the game. If you haven't been to the Precision Valley Golf Center in Hayes, then you're missing out. Get in the game. Go see them today at 1500 West 27th Street in Hayes.
The 6-2 Ravens atop the AFC North taking on the 5-2 Seahawks atop the NFC West. The Ravens being introduced, coming out the tunnel to our right. Looks like a little cave with the Ravens' eyes above the tunnel that are blinking in red as the Ravens with purple jerseys, white pants, black helmets run out of that tunnel. It's like a gated, it's like a cemetery look with the smoke coming out. Call it the Ray Lewis Tunnel. As we get set for the Ravens and the Seahawks, Chris Carino and Brian Baldinger back with you in the bright sunshine, temperature at 71 degrees here in Baltimore for this battle between these two division leaders. And Brian, let's start the keys to this one. The Ravens at 6-2 playing on their home field. What are the keys to them coming in here and getting a victory against Seattle?
Well, I think that Lamar Jackson's playing great football. I mean, he's a real candidate for the MVP of this league. But I feel like their passing game can take another couple steps. And this is like a playoff atmosphere here today going up against Seattle. I want to see Lamar Jackson take his passing game. We know what he can do with the ball in his hand, extending plays. And I want to see him throw the ball down the field better than they have, because I think that's going to be a key to long-term success here.
As Lamar trots out of the tunnel, a slow trot, waving a towel, getting the folks excited as they get to take on the Seahawks, who have really gotten things together defensively. What are the keys for Seattle if they want to come in here and get the upset in Baltimore?
Well, I think that you have to defend Lamar. You got to have an answer for that. You can't let him just run around and make these type of highlight-type plays. So they've got an excellent secondary. They really thump you. I mean, this Devin Witherspoon, Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, they will hit you coming across the middle. But I think they need to get some good pass rush on Lamar. I think they need to quicken his decision-making up, trying to get the ball down the field. Leonard Williams comes in, young Boye Mafe. They've got some good young pass rushers here. I think that would really help their cause today.
We're getting set for the opening kickoff, 7th meeting all time between these two teams. The series tied at 3 games apiece. It's the Ravens and the Seahawks. It's coming up next. You're listening to Compass Media Networks. This is the NFL.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAwon'tWait.com.
Salute to Service is the year-round effort by the NFL and its military partners to honor, empower, and connect with our nation's service members, veterans, and their families. At this time each year, the NFL reinforces our support and gratitude to those who have served and to those who continue to serve. Visit NFL.com/salute to learn more about the NFL's impact with its Salute to Service partners.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open-air zoo, when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful VC turbo engine, well, we had time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few!
Drive the Nissan Rogue.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the NFL on Compass Media Networks.
You're home for NFL Sunday all season long in Hayes and Great Bend. It's KXNC, Net City, 104.7 KISS FM.
Chris Carino, Brian Baldinger back with you in Baltimore, getting set for the Ravens and the Seahawks. What a great coaching matchup you have as well. The number 3 and 4 most tenured coaches in the NFL. John Harbaugh in his 16th season as the head coach of the Ravens. Pete Carroll on the other side in his 14th year with the Seahawks.
You know, I spent some time talking to Pete down the field before the game, and I just mentioned, look, you got 15 rookies on your active roster, and he's not afraid to play them. And he said, like, I've always been like, going back to USC, like I played my freshman, and he believes if it's the right guy, the right type of person, that they're going to improve. Whatever mistakes they make early, they won't make late, and they're going to help their team.
Well, he's got 2 rookie receivers in Jackson Smith and Jigba and Jake Bobo, who each have a touchdown pass in each of the last 2 games.
Yes.
So his rookies starting to grow and play a major role as the captains are in the bright sunshine in the Maryland Raven crest at midfield. Sean Hockley is the referee.
Welcome, Major General Burkhead. Seattle, you're the visitor. You'll call the toss. It's a tails and a heads. Tails, heads. What's your call, sir? Tails. Tails is the call. He's called tails.
That's Seattle
It
calling
is a
tails.
heads. Baltimore has won the toss. Baltimore has elected to defer. You want the football. Which way would you? You're good where you are, man. Seattle will receive on this end. Good luck, gentlemen.
So Seahawks will get it first. Geno Smith, one of the captains who made the call on that one as we get set for the opening kickoff. It's sponsored by the Home Depot. This holiday, the Home Depot is helping you get gifts that keep on giving with Black Friday savings all month long at the Home Depot. Outdoors, get more done.